Going real quick.
Make sure this works. Looks to be live.
Okay. Well, I will call this meeting to order. Our first sign of business is roll call. I have Melissa Cardwell. She's on
here.
Kevin Phelps
Here.
Colton Givens.
I'm here.
See, Judge Coleman.
Here.
And myself. Okay. Our first item of business is to approval of our minutes from our November 21st meeting, February 19th, April 15th, June 18th of 24, executive meetings from January 26, 24, February 29, 24, April 16th, 24, and August 23 of 24. I think all of that was sent out to you all previously. If you have any questions or additions or corrections to it, please state them now. If not, then I need a motion to accept them as presented to you all.
I move we approve them as presented.
Second.
Have a motion by Kevin Phelps, second by Judge Coleman. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Our next item of business is an architect update. So I'm not for sure who's going to be giving that this morning.
I saw Jeff's account come up. Chris Jones is with us though.
Jeff and I discussed it, and I expected him to give the update.
Yeah, he was on just a second ago, Chris. I don't know if he's having technical problems or what.
I had a little trouble getting on this morning. I'm looking at notes that he sent me, so I apologize to everyone. There were some emails about the right of way.
Yes, Chris, I've spoken to the mayor, and they will be having a city council meeting. I believe it's next week, and according to the mayor, it's not going to be any issue.
Okay. Those were in the note in my update notes from Jeff.
Chris, I got one thing when Jeff gets back on here.
Sure.
I don't know if I was trying to look, but I hadn't got to it. You know, on that side where, basically just want to get the building a little bit closer toward the road. I didn't know if there was any existing utilities that only allows us to get so far. I just didn't know if we need to, if the city has to change the right of way, if we need to have some type of drawing to document that.
Sure.
If the civil guys, or if we're going to have the civil guys help formulate that.
And just double check too that there aren't hidden items that we don't know about.
Okay.
Mark, is
yes,
just to locate anything that might be hidden? Is that what we're
I guess we'll just, I just know that, basically the
Yeah.
right of way was, I guess we had a state right of way because that was a state road there. So
Mhm.
we got the road transferred to the county
Sure.
or whomever. So basically Jeff was wanting to tighten up the right of way so we get to get the building closer toward the
Oh,
road. So I
okay.
just didn't know what might be along the side of that road, or, if there's gas or something. I don't know. If we got to make sure that we're,
We're out of the right of way.
or that I don't see that, I don't know if we change some of this, if we got to make sure, I assume that there's the easement, there would possibly be an easement there if that needs to be adjusted. I don't know. Jeff may know what the current conditions are of what we're trying to squeeze back. I just didn't know if anybody's on the civil side is going to help us with that or need to,
All right. I can find out.
or
And
if he
we'll
just
have to-
says it's simple as we're going to reduce it from 75 foot wide or whatever it is down to 60, or I don't know if it needs to be shifted over on one side, because I think it's just the courthouse property side that he was concerned about, but
and
he's back on.
oh, great. Jeff.
Thank you. I think Jeff, can you hear us, Jeff? Looks like he froze on the screen for me.
I'll text him.
Mark, I can share the screen if you and wanted to review it with Chris, or if Chris has that copy of that. Do you have that, Chris?
Yeah, I've opened it up and it looks
Okay.
like there's a 30-foot, 60-foot right away on what was Ohio Street.
That's what it appears to be. Yeah, looks like they might be wanting it reduced to maybe a 30. And like Mark said, it appears that maybe it's moving it back towards the
Yeah.
one side. Maybe, I'm not sure.
We've placed the building at this point 30 feet from the center line. So
Yeah, I see the overlay.
he sent me an overlay called Exhibit B, and it's from the motion that's going in front of the city council.
Chris,
Yep.
could you all send me exactly what y'all are needing for that, where I can get it to the mayor for him to?
Sure. I can do that.
Sam, this is Michelle. I just checked. The city council meeting is actually tonight.
Well, it's a special, I checked on that too. It's a special call meeting.
Oh, tonight's a special call meeting?
Yeah, they're regular on Thursday. But I was told yesterday, Michelle, that wasn't on their agenda for their special call meeting, but
Oh, okay.
Thanks for bearing with me while I read his email on other screen.
It's no problem.
On this. He wants confirmation of the east side of the street. So let's see. So there was a request of a right of way of 35 feet total on West Ohio Street, 17 and a half feet each side. We've drawn it as 30 feet. And that's where the courthouse is now sitting. But it looks like there's some discussion to be had on whether we can narrow that up a little bit. And then I have a copy of the official order from the transportation cabinet. I think I can share that if we want to look at it.
Chris, I'm seeing that was an email from Jeff on March the 26th
Mhm.
with all those attachments.
Yep.
Yeah, I've looked at that. So is that exactly what they're wanting, Chris?
I'm not
It's in that email?
I'm not sure because it talks about, can you guys see my screen?
Yes. Mhm.
There's 30 feet here shown. Here's the corner of the courthouse. There was discussion of reducing it to 17 and like half feet total from the center line over. So I will find out and we'll get an update to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Jeff texted me, said he's been getting kicked out of the meeting, I guess, or where he's getting kicked off and he's trying to log in back in.
Okay. Have I unshared my screen? Share. There we go. All right. Hi, Jeff.
Hello,
There he is. Morning.
this is not optimal because where I'm sitting is the only place I can get this to work. I'm not hearing you too well. Try some headphones here, see if it'll work.
See.
Can you hear us now? No.
Yeah, finally. Thank you. I see Chris had that up there. So I have no idea what you just talked about. So
We were talking about right away.
yeah, I saw what you were talking about, but so yeah, I mean the intent was to see if we could get everyone to agree to moving the right away to the back of the sidewalk. It's that simple. So
Okay, so the 30, we had we all had like the one plan where you did the overlay and it showed it at 30 feet. So basically we're going to take it from the 30 feet possibly and reduce it down, correct, Jeff? To
yes,
the back
that's
of
the
sidewalk?
idea. And the
Okay,
main goal for that was to try to get some more room behind the building, like right where the judge is parking and all that stuff is. So it was really, really tight there.
okay.
And it seemed to be tight for no apparent reason other than there was just a line there that said so, you know. So if we
So
could get it back down to
let me ask this question, and I don't know exactly how this works. I don't know how they determine the center of the right of way. And my question is, there's a meeting on Thursday for the city where this could possibly be brought up.
okay.
Question is do we need a really good exhibit showing this stuff so that they can, I don't know if they have to memorialize that when the motion with an exhibit. The question is are we sure, this looks like this was just over top of Google Maps, but so I don't
It
know.
was. I mean, that's just where it got left a long time ago. But the
Okay.
general idea is wherever that road is, we're not, there is a center line to it, and it should be showing up on the survey. But the
Okay.
whole point is based on the survey, where the center line of the road is, we would be coming over to the back side of the curb, and I guess I can't tell you off the top of my head, what all the measurements are.
So should we have BFW draw that up where the change is, and
It's
that
not.
way
We're doing the site on this one, not VFW.
okay.
Let me see if I can. I had all this stuff pulled up. I had to restart my computer. Let me look for it again. Or
Jeff?
Chris, can you just pull it up again, Chris?
Yeah.
Be quicker.
Yes. So it looks to me from the emails, Jeff, that
Yep.
it's to reduce it to 35 feet in total width instead of 60 where it's shown now.
Can you zoom in just a little bit for me, please?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. So point being is this is simply right now documenting as it is. So no, they don't have everything. There's no way they can have an accurate to the, to the exact point by Thursday, because they have just now started working on this and they don't have all the site laid out for real yet.
Okay.
That takes quite a bit of time to do that. That said, though, I can ask them if they can come up with a number. I think once we arrive at the number, the idea would be it would be to the back of the sidewalk. So what that exact number is, I can't tell you for sure. I think the number Chris referenced was more just schematically what we were thinking, but that's before everything had been laid out according to the survey. So
Okay. So let me ask this. Do we need to give you all a bit of time to firm that piece up so that way when Judge Fleener goes to get this approved, we're lock solid tight on our space for getting changed, I guess?
we can do that. I think it would be helpful just to know if they're okay with the idea of it.
Jeff, I've already
Yep.
talked to the mayor and he is okay with it. but
Okay. All
But-
right.
I think to get this through the city council, the more detailed we are with it, the better off we will be.
Sure.
Getting
I
it.
understand you have to make it
Yeah.
legal.
Yes.
It has to be, and I get all that. So I think our main concern, what we would do then is lay it out, assuming that agreement, and then based on that, we can come up with a number,
Okay.
and then we can get that to you. He just hasn't gotten there yet with it. So, but you can.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, but I think that's fine as long as we know that they're agreeable to that. I can let our civil engineer know to draft the actual site development plan accordingly, and then based on that, we will have a number.
Okay.
And then that'll all have to get. I understand they'll have some sort of a legal description they'll have to write up with, to make it official, but. Right now, it's just such a big difference between where it is and where we want it to be. I think our main concern was if we could go that route, it's going to make that rear parking area way better.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll do that. We'll go ahead and proceed with that assumption that they're amenable to that. And then as soon as he has a number, do they only meet like once a month? Is that how it is?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. In order to keep moving the way we want to keep moving, we'll have to keep moving with that assumption. Otherwise, we'll just be waiting another month before we can actually do anything. So,
yeah. And I'll speak to him today.
Okay.
I'll have a conversation with him today on it.
Okay.
And let him know what the consensus is, that they want to how much you want to reduce it down.
Right. And again, the number Chris mentioned is kind of an approximate, but that's about all I could say right now until we actually have it drawn up.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Now, the other thing that's related to that, though, if you can scroll up on the page, Chris, a bit, is and go down. Oh, I'm sorry. I need to look down on the page, so I'm saying just kind of move it up. Yeah, zoom into that area with the red lines. So we wanted to make sure we understood this clearly. One of the questions that I had sent you all was what those lines mean. We understood for sure that up at the front, there's a connection there between the courthouse drive and the property next door. There's also a sidewalk that wants to come out and and have an exit or a connection to the pavement. The thing I was the most curious about, I'll make sure I understood, is up at the top side of the site, at the back of the existing building. Was that intended then to be a drive there? Or that did they just want to have the ability to access it? In other words, do we need, because we were planning on having a sidewalk come down through there to connect that rear parking lot. So do they want a curb cut so they can drive in there?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. We just want to make sure we understood it correctly.
Yeah, we
All right.
need the drive access into there.
And the drive access needs to be the full width that's shown there. You can see
maybe not that wide.
Yeah. I was sort of thinking it might be better if we could go from the back of the building up to where the property line is.
That would be about right.
Would that be about right? Okay, cool.
I would think that the entrance on the front side may need to be a little bigger, but.
Okay. So do you want it to be like two-way traffic there?
Yes.
Okay. No, he can do that accordingly. That's fine. I just want to pass that on to him. As he's laying all this out, he can go ahead and do that at the same time. And then that way, when we give you a drawing that you show the city, we can also show it to you, Judge Coleman, and make sure that, as property owners, that you're okay with the layout. But we can do that all at the same time.
That'd be great.
Okay. And then the other thing I wanted to pass by you all that affects the site, Chris, if you could just zoom out, that shows where the that acute angle up at the end where the little park area is. We were thinking, because we hadn't shown yet where we would put the 3 flagpoles, and we were thinking somewhere up there might be a really nice, might give that a reason. If we develop a little corner there, like something like we're showing, and put the flagpoles there. Does that make sense to you all? If not, I mean, we can move them over closer to the front of the building. It just seemed to me that the flagpoles might give that little corner or garden paved area somewhat of a purpose.
For my purpose, it sounds good.
That makes sense.
Colton, you have any thoughts on that?
No, I think I'm fine with that. I think that'd be good.
Yeah. I think it's sort of an odd little piece of property. We were trying to do something neat with it.
Mhm.
And I think the more we can give it a reason, right? I mean, if you just have a spot there that no one walks to, it doesn't serve a whole lot of purpose. Whereas if it's got a focal point, I think that's a little more meaningful that way. So, okay, that's cool. Well, we'll go ahead and get them working on all those things so that the next time you see it, you'll see an actual, more of an engineering drawing that shows everything dimensionally as it needs to be to make it work out. And then everybody involved, the city, the adjacent property owner, can then have something to confirm that's real. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, because what we're trying to do here, in keeping with, the schedule we'd given you all the ways back, what we're trying to do, let me pull that up again, and I'll tell you what I'm, just give you a date that we're shooting for here. So what we would be doing then is having, this design development set to you all to review. Right now I've got June 24th. So you'll get a package of drawings that, the owner can review. AOC can do their official review that they need to do to move us on to the next phase and all of that. Now you'll get something to look at before then, but that would be the official design development review date, or the beginning of it. So that's about 2 months from now. We'll be giving you all that.
Hey, Jeff, can you explain to them Phase B?
Yeah. The idea behind the phase B or the design development is to establish all of the parameters that we would then need to follow on with all the detail. So by the end of phase B, the idea would be this, the site layout would be confirmed. The building design, both the exterior, the interior layout would be confirmed. And then at the end of phase B and that approval, what that allows us to do then, the longest phase is the one that follows that, phase C, because we're doing all the detailing and the specifications and all, but that allows us to just kind of move forward with that. And so this is really the decision time, is between now and the end of June. Now, from what I can tell, based on the comments from the phase A, we've already addressed some of the things that we had talked about before. And other than I don't know of any outstanding issues, in other words. The only ones were what we brought up with the site today. So the idea would be into phase B, you all say, yeah, we're good. And then you just kind of cut us loose to do the actual bid documents at that point. That's what phase B would approve. So other than giving you updates during phase C and all, for the most part, we wouldn't really be looking to you all for any more development. We would just be executing what you all had approved already. Does that make sense? Okay. Yep.
Hey, Jeff.
Yes, sir.
This is Matt at
Hey, Matt.
Corporation. How are you, sir?
Good.
What is sort of the time frame that you have locked in there for us for budgeting purposes with this DD set? Is that
okay? Yeah, I've got a line item in here for you all to do the estimate for. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, sir, it is.
Yeah. So yeah, very good. I'll send you a copy of this. In fact, I'll send this to everybody. I wanted to talk to you about it first. I've got a visual that shows the schedule, both with dates and graphically, like an order chart. But
great.
Bottom line is that would mean that for you, Matt, you all would start your estimate. I've got down Monday, June 2nd.
Perfect.
Okay. And then that gives you 3 weeks to do the estimate. And you would finish that up the same time we would then be giving the whole set to everybody for review. So when they get the review set, they'd get our design development set, and at the same time they would get your estimate to go with that. So they'd have everything.
Perfect. Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah. And like I said, after this meeting's over, I'll send you a graphic copy of this so you can kind of, all of you can at least have something to look at the rest of the project and see what some of the key dates are as it relates to you all. Mostly this is set up for, making sure that we're on track. We've got dates scheduled for internal review with our consultants. You'll see all of that on there. So you all won't be involved in all of those meetings. A lot of that's just internal coordination that we have. But I think it'd be pretty easy for you to figure out, how we have this scheduled and how that relates to your PDB meeting dates and so on, all the way down through the beginning of construction. So I'll send that to you later today.
All right. Is there any other architect updates for us this morning?
No, we're we're doing good here. I mean, as far as we're concerned, we're ready to just keep moving forward, and that knowing how we can go with the site will help us to do that. So I'll check with him how long he thinks it'll take to get that to a point where it's presentable to show to the city, and I'll give you an update once he's given me that, so you know when to expect it. But I'm quite certain it'll be well before a month from now. So yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. At this time, is there any other business to bring before the board? Mark, you have anything else?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. All right. So we need to schedule our next meeting.
Looks like the next regular meeting schedule will be May 20th, Tuesday at 8 a.m.
Mhm.
That works for me.
Is that good with everyone else? Judge Coleman?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Okay. All right, so our next meeting will be May 20th, Tuesday at 8 a.m. With that, I want to thank everyone for attending this morning. Appreciate your time. I know everyone's really busy right now at this time of the year, but thank you all, and everyone have a good day.